got this latest sort of OPEC spat with Angola leaving wrong. They were looking at U.S. oil production growth, and they were looking at Guyana and several other places and thinking, hey, maybe OPEC's going to get into a price war and do what they did in early 2020 and dump oil onto the market. But the reality is that if you take a sort of expanded view of OPEC to OPEC plus plus, and you look at what's happening in the the U.S. has been sort of the most active in terms of cutting the most drilling and production activity. And so, it takes a number of months from when you stop drilling to when there's a production impact, and we're just starting to see it. So in the latest government data and in the latest satellite data, we're starting to see U.S. production start to come off, and we may see some disappointments versus consensus expectations. So, with 160 plus rigs less running right now than this time last year, and I've seen some estimates of up to 200 rigs. It's sort of funny that these numbers aren't so reliable, but if you have 160 to 200 rigs less running and you have well productivity falling, even with improved rig efficiency, you could see a lot less production than people are expecting from the U.S. And that would be a setup, again, for much higher prices. I think we're sort of, the oil market's a powder keg. I think we can get to $100 oil pretty easily. And that's really just sort of not baked into any of the expectations for the broader market in terms of inflation, in terms of various other concerns. And it's an election year. So I think there's going to be a lot of tension that comes from potentially higher oil prices.
Okay, so let me pin you down on that. When do you think we could possibly see $100 a barrel? And what would you expect prices to average at for 2024?
Oh man, I like to joke that my short-term crystal ball is broken. I don't really know exactly where this is going to happen, and I like to buy undervalued small-cap public equities with exposure to themes that I think are compelling. And so my exposure isn't through betting on sort of specific months or what have you, but where there might be oversupply in 2024 is here in this first quarter. And so what I think may happen is as we get into the second quarter and get into global inventory declines, with U.S. shale maybe disappointing more than consensus, as the impact of this lower rig count kicks in, along with the impact of higher demand from ships going the long way to get from Asia to Europe, and so on. I think you might see oil prices rise substantially. I guess there'd be late spring going into the summer, and I think there's a chance. I think there's a decent chance that we end up with $90+ average oil for 2024, which is way higher than the forward curve.